So good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to another scene for the Living World of Darkness for Rage Across New York. Wherein, well, let's face it, the Sept of the Green is only so much the place to be anymore. Even the Seekers are packing their shit up, and have probably been doing so when they aren't out finding intrigue. Glorious intrigue! But now it is not the time for intrigue. Now has been the time for packing and eating and finally relaxing somewhat after all of that prep. So, yeah, in theory, people are settling down. People have tea. People have cigarettes. Who knows what people have? They have things. They probably have whiskey. It's anyone's guess, really. Very person dependent. But in this case, among other things, 10 Point will go hunting out her her alpha eyebrow waggle. No, her Raya, and very possibly doing so by moving Darcy into whatever room he's in. Just very very gingerly leaning it against the door or doorway, alongside the doorway. Meh. Whatever room she comes into.
Yeah, he's sitting in there. You actually see him working out, actually. You know, that kind of in the hallway where he's kind of pulling himself up.
He's got the little
Yep.
the little iron gym thing that
Yep.
it's onto a door frame.
Yep.
Yeah, she'll come around and gingerly prop Darcy up there at the entrance to the hall and glance over and just kind of awkwardly pause because he's in the middle of a thing.
Like stops mid like the fourth, like the you don't know how long he's been at this, but he stops like mid one and stares at her. Yeah.
When you're done, Raya.
What's wrong? What's happened? He just drops. What's happened now?
Nothing, Raya.
Has Dallas done something stupid again? As he's walking out, you know.
No.
I would add that he's shirtless as well, because you know, of course, working out and shit. She's walking by.
That's probably why she's looking away so much. No, Raya, she's fine.
What's after going on? Why you've got the look that you've just like... I know that look. What's after happening?
I have been examining my own behavior, Raya.
What have you done now this time?
The jaw works for a second. I just thought it would be right to confess, Raya.
Confess to what? What are you confessing to?
She seems a little put off, a little awkward, if only because there's no real established way they do this. And so she kind of bumbles it for a second. And finally just kind of looks down at her hands. I have had a number of very selfish thoughts, Raya.
He looks up into the air. Have you in any way put this pack in jeopardy?
Not yet, Raya.
Have you in any way acted on those selfish thoughts?
Not yet, Raya.
Have you in any way caused hassle which can reflect on the image of this pack?
Not yet, Raya.
Have you dishonored any member of this pack or disrespected any ranking guru?
No, Raya.
Well, then what are you confessing about?
And again, she hedges for a couple seconds awkwardly, just kind of using one hand to play with the other. You imagine if she had a ring or something, she'd be spinning it, just keeping her hands busy. Still looking offside. It was the mention of you staying with Sheila, Raya.
Raises an eyebrow. So?
I don't want you to, Raya.
You don't want me to stay with my wife?
Not to live there, Raya.
Now, why is that?
And finally, the eyes drop properly, all the way down to the floor. Because I'm selfish, Raya.
I mean, realistically, I probably can't stay at Sheila's because I'll have to keep this pack somewhat functioning because I can't leave you on your bloody own, and I'm certainly not leaving you alone with Dallas.
Kind of blinks a few times, glancing up.
And Banshee, I don't know what the fuck she gets up to half the time, so can I realistically leave you on your own?
And yeah, she actually looks a little stricken, albeit in a positive way. I hope not, Raya.
Realistically, no, I couldn't. If anything, I would have to eventually stay with the pack. I mean, realistically, Sheila could probably technically move in, but I don't want to put Chad's mothers out of, position.
And she goes back to kind of nervously playing with her own hands.
But I don't want to take her house away from her either, because Sheila has her own house.
Oh.
I mean, technically we could all move into Sheila's, but I have to talk to Sheila.
Yeah, it's dropping it.
But I doubt it. But I don't want to put Sheila in jeopardy either, because if that pack location is there. You see, the thing is, Temple, I'm worried that this location will be put in jeopardy. That's my main worry.
We wouldn't, Raya.
It's still my worry, even with Chad's mother there as well.
Raya, none of us would put her in jeopardy.
It still worries me, 10 Point. Just means I'm going to be extra protective.
Of course, Raya.
I don't want to lay my eggs in one basket, so I probably end up won't staying with Sheila. I mean, to just go over there every now and again. Do you know what I'm saying?
Here's another just kind of very quiet little nod.
You're not. So there's nothing for you to start confessing about. It just seems more like you're automatically assuming that wanting to make sure your alpha is near is a bad thing.
It's not because you're alpha, Raya.
I know why it's because of that, but if you replace it with that more positive thought, and more thought concerning the well-being of this pack, well then it's not really a sin, is it? It's proactively working against it. Wouldn't you say?
She starts looking kind of puzzled. Not because she doesn't get it, but it's like he's trying to get her out of punishment. What? And after a pause and a slight tilt of head and a blink or two, again, obviously understanding what he's saying, she nonetheless, after a couple moments, says, "Right, I don't understand."
Don't understand what.
Why you would try to make it better than it is.
Because what is the point of just hammering you down when you're never going to learn it in the first place? What's the point, 10 point? Because I could, again, I'd snap those antlers right off your hand. But what would you learn? Pain. Rather than you learning effective ways to battle the worm. Now, don't worry. There will be a time when I will beat the ever-loving fuck out of you. But what is the point in picking everything apart when I can teach you ways to fight against it?
It's not about being beaten, right? It's about telling you so that you can take whatever measure it is.
And here's the measure I've taken. Education. Are you doubting my methods? Are we going to have to revisit that conversation again?
No, Maria. I'm just confused.
Well, I've chosen to educate. Tomorrow, I might choose to pick up Darcy and break your ribs.
And again, her mouth kind of opens and there's a pause and it kind of closes. Not because she's choking back something, but because she doesn't seem to know what to say.
Now, you must be feeling frustrated with all the things we were doing today.
I'm... yes, right?
Well, talk to me about it.
I just am not accustomed to things here being so complex.
It's called politics, 10 point.
I know what politics are, Raya. But here it's usually very shallow and very simple. And with a little digging, one finds the heart of the problem.
And maybe we never really truly found the heart of the problem. We just put a band-aid on it.
Well, perhaps the kin are more clever than the guru. She just gives her head a shake.
Just smile. This has been a long time coming, 10 point.
Perhaps, Raya, but you think the kin would be more eager to find a Skinner in their ranks.
The kin are worried about themselves and what they can do for themselves. Same as most of the guru here. Everyone's worried about themselves usually. Very, very few are worried about the grander scheme.
Perhaps, Raya, but wouldn't it be to their benefit to point out the Skinner so that the rest of them would not be suspected?
Maybe they don't know, and maybe the fear is a very powerful motivator to keep quiet. Most have learned to keep quiet.
So few of them have much fear. Even if they started with it, not anymore.
I don't know.
Even now, the only kinfolk I've met that truly seems fearful is Elizabeth. And even then, it is healthy caution. Did I lose my audio again?
No, he'd just sit there silently, kind of rubbing his chin.
Oh, okay.
I wonder. But then again, this place is very different to everywhere else.
It is.
And something will happen. Someone will push a button. And they'll be reminded that Guru have reached. But then again, they'll probably just blame that all as well. I noticed Tyler, I think, underestimated me.
Did he, Raya?
He was wondering why I deliberately sent my kinfolk almost in the way to get caught.
To see what he'd do.
I wanted to see who he'd blame first.
She nods, and she'll settle down alongside his feet.
And you notice most kinfolk wanted to exhume what you say. Like that Fianna boy. Do you know what I would have done to him if we had been back at home?
Yes, Raya.
But we're not at home, are we?
No, Raya.
So we play the game, and we adapt, and we survive. Now he listened to what I said. And most of these people have not been educated.
No, it doesn't feel like it.
So, what an idea could be is to maybe teach them. Like I was out there teaching them survival training, basic defense. Maybe one of the theorists could teach them how and what this world is.
I can, Raya.
Good. Do you want to know something funny?
Yes, Raya.
You look at Elizabeth, right? And you see, ignore the obvious trauma she suffered. A beautiful woman. Would think about claiming her, as one of your own. Do you want to know something, 10 Point?
What, Raya?
The thought had never crossed my mind. I mean, I would be honored if she would want me to claim her. But I just want to help the girl. Now, does that make me a bad guru and a better human? Or worse human or a better guru?
And she ponders it for a moment, lightly tracing like her fingernails up and down her jawline that she mulls over it. I think an impulsive guru would attempt to claim her, but it would be ill-advised considering her history.
You nod slowly, but you didn't answer the question.
I do not think it makes you a bad guru to have the sense to aid the kin regardless, to create a relationship instead of forcing on with a claim. If the time comes that you are friends and you have aided her, and eventually she wishes to be claimed, so much the better.
Do you know what I want from her?
No, Raya.
I want her to stand.
You mean at the council?
No, Not just at the council. I want her to stand again. Proud. I want that woman to stand proud. Because I can see it in her. I can see that pride. I can see it all hidden behind the shyness, the cautiousness, the fear. I see it, burning bright. And if only she could see it.
This time, Raya.
I see the same thing in you.
She balks visibly. I don't know what you mean, Raya.
I see a proud Fiona.
It must be very deep, Raya.
It is. Doesn't mean I don't see it.
Pride is a luxury, Raya.
It is, but every now and again, you can have it.
I suppose so.
There's no supposing about it. You've done your breed of credit. You've earned the right to be a Fianna.
He kind of still balking a bit. We'll color faintly.
You may have your mistakes. You may have all these things, but compared to Alana, compared to Talatahine, you retain that humility and that self-awareness of what you are and what you represent. You don't do things because a Metis isn't supposed to, or try to defy things. You just do it. And you know what's expected of you. And yes, you may have regrets, but you still do your duty. Can't ask much more than that, can you?
I suppose not, Raya, but it seems strange to reward humility with a right to pride. Wouldn't it undo the good traits?
Every now and again, you can say to yourself that I did this. Me. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because there has to be a balance. And too much humility. And where a tribe that prides ourselves on deeds.
If the Galliards are to be believed, my deeds are ample.
So take solace in that. And take solace in what I'm saying. That for a brief moment, you can have a pride in yourself that you are a fantastic Omega. And an invaluable member of this pack.
And she'll again briefly kind of take on a bit of color. And finally will clamber off the floor onto the couch. Thank you, Raya.
That's all I get. Thank you.
She kind of was taken aback.
Well, since after basically getting you to take my last name as part of your new identity, that's all I get. So thank you.
I don't know what else I can do that's appropriate, right?
Smirk at her. Come here.
But she will do so. He'll scooch over a bit.
And put her arms around her gently.
And she will return it almost instantaneously.
He looks down at her. That's called a hug, 10 point.
And there's a faint, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of embarrassed little smile. She'll hide her face briefly in his shoulder as she's still, well, for the most part, antlerless at the moment, so she doesn't have to worry about clonking him in the head. And while it's muffled, she'll say again, "Thank you, Raya." And we'll give him a good squeeze.
You hear the slow pop, 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 pop of a pat on her head. We'll work on that.
Work on what?
Smirk. Work on teaching her the proper ways to actually accept not just punishment, but accept praise.
I think it's fair to say that I have much less experience with it, right?
Well, that's why I said we're going to work on it. You smile.
Yes, right.
So stop coming to me with things you haven't done yet. When I'm trying to teach you ways how, so when you're thinking about them, you can do different things. So stop trying to assume you're doing nothing. You're doing something wrong when you haven't done anything.
I had just thought, you did talk about staying with Sheila. And I knew that if you did, my response would not have been appropriate.
I have to consult Sheila because she's my wife, 10 point.
I know, Raya.
And is giving her the due respect that she deserves.
I know, Raya.
So what is the lesson here?
I understand that you must, Raya. I have the whole time. I don't know.
Assumptions lead to often very dangerous things.
So can keeping secrets, Raya. And keeping it secret until I knew for sure it would not have been a problem would still have been keeping a secret.
I'm asking a question that's perfectly liable.
She kind of blinks.
You can ask me things. Doesn't mean that you're asking a bad thing, is it? If you just ask me a question.
I suppose not, Raya.
And in a way, you're revealing your secret as well by asking. It's all about up here, 10 point. He taps the side of her head. Gotta think.
It wouldn't have come to mind, Raya, if you hadn't already said you meant to do it.
We'll work on that too.
There's a lot to work on.
I know, but we'll lean over, playfully like bop her in the nose. We'd do anything for family.
Of course, Raya.
Now, let's get you to bed.
And she will actually look kind of comically delighted by the idea, because yeah, it's kind of like the if you've ever had a pet dog and done the whole like want to go to bed and they get all excited and run into the bedroom type thing. She doesn't quite go to that level, but she definitely seems to look forward
Oh no!
to
What have I
laying
done?
next to him. So she
That's an
still
hilarious
brightens
one.
up a little bit.
You want to go to bed then, boy?
Run in circles. No, not quite to that level. That's a wee bit excessive. But no, she
Yeah, no,
does brighten up.
he'll hoist her up. Mom, let's get you to sleep.
And yeah, she will just lean in, being hoisted, and tuck her face under his chin and let herself be carried.
And yeah, I think that's a pretty good place to end it.
Yeah. So with 10 Point relishing in the good company, we'll say thank you, players, for playing, and watchers for watching, and we'll see you next time on the Living World of Darkness, Rage Across New York.